Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Kristen Bledsoe, and I'm the Associate Director of the Online EDD program here at Trevecca. And I want to take just a couple minutes to share with you some tips on how to manage those group projects that you do face-to-face online. I actually have a class that I teach in the EDD program that is designed for teamwork and collaboration. So I want to share some of those ideas that I use with you. The first thing, you might have some questions. How can you virtually collaborate on team projects? I'm going to share that with you. What does the setup look like for online students? How do you manage and grade those projects? I have some tips for you. Then tools. What tools do you use? I'm actually going to show you a couple of great tools that we use. A lot of times it's going to be based on the educational platform that you're using, but all of the platforms have some sort of group discussion that you can utilize. So let's dive in to my first tip, and that is focused discussion board and roles. The first part of this is make that first assignment for your groups. Once you've formulated your groups, you want to have an initial post, whether that's a get to know you or just share some basic information. That way you get the conversation started, and then you require each of the other group members to follow up or comment on everyone else's post. And that really gets everyone in this discussion and going. And the other part is, and I would make this really clear in the assignments, is that everyone has to have a role. Now you can give them suggested roles, which is what I do, and I can show you those. I liked to give them roles because I definitely want to make sure certain things are being hit, but sometimes they really want to know what the professor expects. So I give them these suggested roles. They can actually use this Word document, fill it in, and then they have the opportunity again to kind of read through what do I expect. Now all of this information is in the initial assignment, but I like them to have this piece of paper so they can make sure they are hitting all the things that are required for the assignment. So my first tip again, focus the discussion, make sure everyone is included initially, and then don't forget those roles. They're really important to kind of the outcome of this team project online. That way you can really track what is happening. My next tip, number 2, make smaller groups. I always recommend 3 to 4 students if possible. The smaller the groups are, the more likely they are to feel more open and free to discuss and brainstorm with each other. Sometimes as the groups get larger, they kind of lose some voices in there. Some people kind of shy away. I feel like even with the different personalities that we have, 3 or 4 people can really set the tone for a great group project. Okay, so tip number 3, make your face-to-face, your classroom activity, break it down into a multi-step process. It's a little bit easier in the virtual setting to kind of have some pre-assignments before the big group project. It's a lot. A lot of times when you're putting together those team projects, remember you're asking for something rather large. So you want to make sure that you scaffold the project. Look for ways to ask for a proposal. Have the group put together a paragraph of a proposal, or think about outlines. One time when I did a presentation online, they had us just do some bullets and outline the project, or a draft, or any other mini assignment that you can make it to help build their confidence together in order to achieve this team project online. And then of course this gives you the opportunity as a facilitator to focus your students on what the objective is and give and redirect given any problems or concerns you may see as you go along. So those are my first 3 tips. This 4th tip is really important as the facilitator. You really want to engage with your students in this online platform. And I recommend including yourself in all the groups. Now that might look different depending if you are setting it up as a group discussion, then you can include yourself in that actual discussion board. Or like me, I am creating this time around groups in Microsoft Teams, and I'm giving them fun names. We're going to talk about teamwork and collaboration, and that way I can manage this from my computer or my phone. So Microsoft Office has a lot of tools you can use, but Teams is a great one. And then this this kind of tracking where you include yourself in the groups, you can check on participation. You can be documenting things as you go, and that helps with the end result. One more thing I want to share with you that I really love to do after the first week my classes started is send out an email that includes myself, the 4 members of the team, letting them know, hey, this is a reminder, this project is coming up. I shoot them a quick video of the expectations again, and that way when they start responding to each other, I'm copied on the email. Again, seeing who's responding, kind of documenting, kind of tracking what's happening in the group. And at the end of the day, they end up sending me their roles kind of as they go along, and that again keeps me in the loop. And I think that's really important to the grading process, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So again, checking in allows for that early problem resolution. You see a problem, you can maybe quickly assess and regroup. And then, of course, I think it provides for ways to open up the discussion among the classmates in the group as well. So that's tip number 4. The 5th tip, grading. It's always a little tricky, but I think if you do the steps I've mentioned before with the communication and making sure that you're engaged with your teams, then you're really going to set yourself up to be able to grade appropriately. People are going to be holding each other accountable because they've been given roles. And if you allow the students to have sort of an opportunity for feedback, I think that really helps you assess how this group project has gone, and of course, if any points need to be deducted one way or the other. So those are my 5 tips for managing group projects online. I want to take, again, just a minute to go over a couple of tools, but as a district, as your school, you might have different platforms, but we use Blackboard. There's group discussion, but so does Google Classroom. They also have the Google Drive where you can share all kinds of documents, which makes things amazingly easy for groups to work together on. You have Canvas, you have Desire to Learn, then Office 365 if it's something that your district has given you access to. OneDrive is phenomenal. They can share PowerPoints and Word documents where they can write on them at the same time. They can really collaborate together in this area. Microsoft Teams, I've already showed you. You can create groups and then you can create channels. Hashtag questions, and then you can go in there and check the channel for group questions. There's lots of opportunities there. And then at Trevecca, we also use VoiceThread and Flipgrid, which provide video group discussions where you can share some of the group project assignments through video. And there's lots of other tools with that too. And if you have questions about that, you can feel free to reach out to me. So at the end of the day, what's the goal? The goal is to encourage teamwork. It's necessary. To encourage accountability. We absolutely need that, whether we are little people or big people. And then, of course, to remind everyone that in life, it absolutely takes a village. So, on that note, Steve Jobs said, great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. And that is a philosophy that we want to hold our students accountable to. They are not the only ones doing whatever it is they're doing in life, whether that's education, whether that's their job, whether that's their family. They're not alone. So let's teach them how to work together beautifully. Let's help each other in the spirit of online learning. And if there's ever anything I can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. You should have my information. Have a good one.